that is called a health claim. And Uganda National Bureau of Standards has standards for such products. And for one to put a health claim on a product, it must be backed up by data, which we don't have. So for on this DOCtalk show, we advise that the producers of such products may not add that health claim until they have data, they have done research to prove that actually that product enhances sexual activity. Thank you.
Wow. And so it's the National Bureau of Standards to clear such kind of products with those health claims. Florence, to pick it up from there, how long should one keep fresh fruits in their fridge? That's a question from one of our viewers.
As nutritionists, we advise people to keep food in the fridge, cooked food, right? Cooked food in the fridge for a maximum of 2 days. Beyond 2 days, it's not right for you to eat that food. Okay. For example, if you cooked your meat stew, any meaty product must be kept in the freezer, not in the fridge. The fruits and vegetables, we keep them in the fridge. But as time goes on, they wither. Some fridges have lower efficiency, other fridges have good efficiency, and for example, restaurants may have commercial fridges that keep foods for longer, but for cooked food, we strictly say 2 days is a maximum. Otherwise,
for us bachelors who cook at the weekend and cook another weekend, aren't you killing us, really? I'm
not killing, actually. It's good this came from the food safety talk that aired last week. We want you safe. Our bachelors, we want you safe.
So I should stop keeping my meat for a week in the fridge?
It's not healthy. It also loses the nutrient value. Okay. It piles germs. And sometimes people don't cook this food to the boiling point before they eat it.
Okay.
Which is a root cause of food infections and food poisoning.
Even in terms of taste, food that has stayed longer, it loses taste.
Okay. Haidar, just still add on to that. What would be how would you advise our viewers? So somebody had an issue. What is the best way to prepare fruits, vegetable salads for eating? What would be the best appropriate way to prepare fruit and vegetable salads?
Fruits and vegetables. Of course, I can start with vegetables. With vegetables, it is always good to first clean. When you're going to select a vegetable to cut, have that one that does not have any damage. It should be without any bruises. Then, as you proceed to the cutting, you have to first wash it, and washing it under running water.
Okay.
Because if you brought in maybe a bowl with water and then you're trying to wash, that means you're not actually washing. You're spreading all over whatever was contained on the fruit. Then from there, you have to go on to and then cut it. But cutting, the equipment you're going to use to cut has to be clean. Both the knives and where you're going to cut from. Then the handling, we have to limit fingering a lot. Yeah, if it's going to be pineapple, you don't have to finger exactly the part. So try to use a few equipment, maybe a knife and a fork. Then you proceed again to cutting it. Now, if it is a vegetable, then it's good to do some treatment, mild treatment. You can either use warm salty water, you dip in the salad you've cut, or you can use vinegar.
Wow.
But if it's going to be the fruit, that's why I was emphasizing the hygiene standards, so that you limit any cross-contamination.
Thank you very much, Haidar. And to our viewers, thank you for participating. You've really made us who we are, the DOCtalk show. Haidar, I would love you to continue from there. We are continuing with health diet. Last week we were talking at food safety. So what is a health diet? People are talking about health diet here and there. Please help our viewers know what you mean by health diet.
All right. To everyone, including us and the viewers out there, everyone wonders what is a health diet. Now, having a health diet is it's a basic need first of all. And when you're having a health diet, it's going to boost your immune system, and this will help you prevent certain diseases like non-communicable diseases, and as well as be able to fight out the communicable diseases. Okay.
Florence, pick up from where Haidar stopped.
Maybe to the lay person, they may wonder the components of a healthy diet, and Haidar has alluded to a bit of the components. I'm going to talk like I'm talking to a lay community. So we say our healthy diet has energy-giving food, and we call those foods Go foods. So for the Go foods, we have like the sweet potatoes, the cassava, matoke, kalo, posho, the food in that group. We eat that food to be able to get energy to move on. Then we have the Grow foods. These are foods we eat. They are rich in protein. We eat to grow our muscles, to grow our bones, to grow height, to grow, to be strong and to look healthy. We have the Glow foods. The Glow foods are the foods you eat when you want a glowing skin, you want glowing hair, you want to be full of vitality without disease. Haidar talked about food that prevents disease. So the Glow foods are the fruits and vegetables, basically. Yes.
Wow. So we have the Go, Grow, and Glow foods.
Yes.
I think you got that right. Yeah. So what do we do with these foods? So can I have my Glow foods on Monday? On Tuesday, I have my Grow foods, and then on Friday, I have my Go foods. How do I mix the two? Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now, when it comes to how we're going to arrange the food, there are certain basics that we need to follow. Also, maybe to give a few statistics, when it comes to, as the general community, our consumption of vegetables is really poor. Like according to the nationwide state survey that was done in 2014 on risk factors of non-communicable disease, it was found that 88% do not have adequate fruits and vegetables. So which means we are really performing poorly. We need to really improve on this.
What did you just say? 88% of Ugandans do not have fruits and vegetables in their diet?
Adequate.
Adequate.
Because I've talked about the adequate at least 5 portions.
Wow.
Now, when you go to the other side on a plate, then you have also the sugars.
Okay.
We have to regulate the intake of these sugars, mainly the free sugars. When I talk about free sugars, here we mean the sugar that is directly added into the food by the manufacturers. It could, and also including the sugar, naturally occurring sugars that are contained within the fruits. So we have to limit that to at least maybe 50 grams or around 8 teaspoons a day. Okay. If you're going to if you're following a healthy diet. So in a day, if you have to consume sugar, you should not, but you not exceed 8 teaspoons
a day.
But that is in consideration of if you had a fruit juice. Okay. So you don't have to add it because it already has sugar.
Oh, so the 8 sugars, the 8 spoons are also part of what was in there.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Florence, yes. Please top up that.
With the Grow foods. This is going to take us into dietary practices, right?
Okay.
So I also want to link it up with the question you asked when you said, can I have my Go foods today, Grow foods tomorrow, Glow foods the other day? You need to have those every day. Okay. Every meal.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I don't save Monday for Glow and then Tuesday for Grow. I have to mix them on a daily.
Yes. Wow. So if you had your plate, let's say that is your plate, a third must be the Go foods. Okay. A third must be the Grow foods, which is the protein. Yeah. A third must be the Glow foods, the fruit and veg. And you can have your glass of drinking water on the side.
Wow. That is quite very instructive and enlightening for us and our viewers.
Maybe.
We will take a short break now and we'll be back in a moment.
This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from partners.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show. You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Yeah, you're welcome back. Dr. Joseph, Gavin, Nyanzi here with you this evening and reminding you of our social media handles, the DOCtalk Show on Facebook, the DOCtalk Show on YouTube and on Twitter. Please follow our links and invite your friends to follow. Even right now, actually, we are airing live on our social media handles. Make a call, share in your groups. Let all your friends come and join this very powerful moment tonight of empowering us with health information. Florence.
Yes, Doctor.
We are back, and I have many friends, sisters, in that category. They are, quite concerned. What food is best for my skin? What food will not make my tummy grow? Please continue to take us through the Go, the Grow, and the Go.
Thank you so much. Those are very interesting questions, and they're actually key health issues that we all struggle with. So when you talk about the grow foods. Grow foods are basically protein foods. We have both animal protein and plant protein. Animal protein includes beef, chicken, fish, lamb, the meat basically. Okay. And the healthiest of those is white meat. We have chicken and fish. The birds and the reptiles, if I'm talking to the young children that do biology, that is the healthiest protein.
I was told pork is white meat.
That's a myth. Pork is actually red meat. Okay. If you look at my hand, yeah, I'm a teacher, so let me teach a bit. This is the red striation of meat. Okay. This is white. This is red, white, red, white. So the white parts, these are actually fats. That is why it appears white meat, but it's actually red meat, and very fatty red meat. So if you like to eat it, Dr. Nyanzi and our viewers, I recommend that we moderate what we eat.
Rabbit meat?
Rabbit meat is very healthy. Okay. Yes. And so I want to also talk about the plant protein. We have the groundnut sauce, we have the beans, we have the peas, we have very many varieties of beans and nuts on the market, and we have both dried and the fresh ones. So those, you can never go wrong with those. Those are very healthy. They carry very healthy oil, very healthy fats to eat. I know I've known that people talk about eating too much groundnuts and makes you fat. The only thing you should worry about groundnuts is if they are not well dried and they carry molds. If you realize your groundnuts carry molds, don't eat the molded parts. Those are causes of, they have aflatoxins, exactly, which cause cancer. Okay. The glow foods, examples of glow foods are all fruits and all vegetables. You're very safe eating all types of vegetables. We have green, we have red, we have purple cabbages, we have the green leafy vegetable ones, we have the tree vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, the white one. So we have many types. And then the fruits, you're also safe with all the fruits. However, we have people that have chronic conditions, like if someone has type 2 diabetes or they have type 1 diabetes, then they must consult with a doctor which fruits are suitable for their blood levels, so that they don't do a high or a low, they don't go below the required blood sugar, or they go beyond what they're supposed to carry in the system.
So is diet important in dealing with tummy size?
Oh yes, thank you very much. Diet is very important. What makes us put on weight around the stomach is actually the go foods that we eat in excess. Because excess energy-giving food is stored as fat in the body. Sometimes, let's say, I'm going to talk about the mothers, they get pregnant and then they're told to eat for 2 people. Oh. Yes, they're not given the right guidance. Yes, if I am already overweight or normal weight, really I don't need to eat too much beyond what I've been eating. Okay. However, however, we have mothers that are already overweight or are already obese. So for those, we recommend that they eat normally, even when they are pregnant. They don't need to eat for 2. Okay. And then I'll give you, our viewers, a tip. If you're struggling with a big stomach and you know you're not pregnant, you're okay, there is one tip that has worked for me. I used to be overweight, actually like up to 90 kilos, but I learned to drink a liter of warm water first thing in the morning. A liter of and I drink water. It while seated. So that liter flushes out the excess food that I ate the previous day, and the body doesn't need it. I flush it out first. I take 30 minutes to take breakfast. And then I will let...
Say that again? You take a liter
of warm water. I actually measure it. I have a bottle that I used to measure.
You do that every morning?
Every morning, yes.
Wow.
And in a day, I must drink at least 2 liters.
Wow, that's a challenge. I'm taking it on. I don't know about you. Haidar, as you comment about that challenge, am I fine with my chapatis? I've heard of whole grain, processed grain. Please help us understand. There's a lot of this talk on Facebook everywhere, whole grain. Some people are discouraging me from eating my chapati. Well, please, say something.
Okay, now, thank you, doctor. Now, the best way to have the go foods or the energy-giving foods is to have them in form of whole grain. And if you have to buy the processed, let
What
us
is whole
buy
grain?
those that have been fortified. Food in its natural form, for example.
Oh, that's what you mean by whole grain.
Exactly.
Natural form.
If it's going to be sweet potato,
Okay.
you will have it as sweet potato, non-sweet potato powder.
Oh.
If you're going to have cassava, we shall have our natural cassava root, and if
What
it's
about
going to
Irish?
be Irish as it is.
Not chips?
Not chips. So that you're able to have all the nutrients, because processing, some nutrients are lost. Because sometimes based on the manufacturer's target. Then when it comes to, we talked about the chapatis and also to add on to the meats, having these foods is okay, but let's regulate the fat content.
Okay.
We should at least opt for vegetable oil versus the other solid fat or the animal fat, because vegetable oil has more, it is more nutritious and will not expose you, it does not increase so much cholesterol in your body.
Do we still have animal fat? I thought all the oil we are using is vegetable oil.
Now, when you talk about animal fat, we are trying to look at, there's this fatty meat you're going to buy. She talked about white meat versus the red meat.
Okay.
Now, also all that has into consideration of the fat content. If you're going to look at pork, pork has more fat compared to the chicken. With chicken, fat is constituted in the skin, so you may have to get rid of the skin. Now, fish has the good fat, the unsaturated, which if you are to buy it, it's not so common. It will be in form of liquid form. That's why let's use more of the liquid oil, apart from maybe the coconut oil that is a bit solid, semi-solid sometimes. The other one that we need to consider now, how do we achieve that? By making sure that how we cook. Let's limit so much of deep frying, having deep fried products, and also the processed or baked food products, because these have solid fat added in, like the margarines. Then the other one that you can look at is to use a boiling method or steaming versus frying.
Okay.
That will also help you regulate to achieve the other 30%, less than 30% of the total calories you may need in a day. So to eliminate it will be hard, but once you adopt the practices of boiling, people also have, there's a myth there that I prefer boil. There's a way it is said. They assume when I get the meat, this fatty meat, and I don't add in vegetable oil, it's actually boiling, which is not the case. Let's opt for the lean pieces of meat if you have to go for the meat. Exactly. So the more we reduce on this, it will give us to achieve the healthy dietary goal, but also to reduce on our risk, or it will reduce on the risk of you being exposed to the non-communicable diseases later in life.
Wow, Florence, Haidar has talked about margarine. So should I stop using margarine on my bread? What is your take on that? Should I stop using margarine on my bread? Is it safe for me, or I just take my bread bare?
Thank you. Margarine, we have different types of fat on the market. We have the vegetable fat, the animal fat, then we have what we call trans fats. A trans fat is a fat that is neither plant nor animal.
Okay.
What happens is that bits and pieces of the animal fat is hydrogenated to form that particular product, like margarine. So it is practically, it is not healthy for you, neither is it healthy for any child. However, because of advertising, people buy it. However, on the market we have honey. You can put honey on the bread. You have avocados, you have tomatoes. We have a lot of green leafy vegetables that you can pour hot water on and then eat with your bread to avoid the extra fat added onto the food.
Wow, you're really messing up my understanding of things, but I'm glad I'm here and I trust my viewers are enjoying the show. We are taking a short break and we'll be back in a minute. Thank you very much.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from partners.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show. You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Thank you for keeping it here with us. Still, thank you for liking and following our social media platforms, the DOCtalk Show. Please share the link. And at this juncture, I want to appreciate very much our production crew. of the Quiz Mali Productions, the best production house in the country. Feel free to contact them anytime for bringing such very empowering shows every time, every week, all year round. Florence, this has been, you've really messed up my understanding, but I'm glad I came. Please, I want you to help us understand various dietary requirements by age group. From day 0 when the baby comes forth, what are we interested in? And then as we go on, what are the different dietary requirements? I know somebody watching there could be, has a baby, has a 10-year-old, has a 15-year-old. Are the dietary requirements the same for that particular household? And actually, even a grandmother in that same household. So, please.
Thank you. The dietary requirements are different per age group. We usually start with, professionally, we start advising the mother when she's pregnant. In the country, we have a big proportion, almost 30%, they are short for their age. And so we want to start with the mother, and it is also in line with Ministry of Health guidance for feeding mothers who are pregnant and also the infants and the young children. We recommend that the mother eats a healthy diet. The way Haidar explained earlier, the mother should have enough go foods, enough grow foods, enough glow foods when she's pregnant.
Wow.
So that at birth, she has a very good, the fetus grows well, and at birth, the child has the right weight for their height, or the right weight. We usually measure health with weight. Between 2.5 kilograms and 3.5 kilograms is a healthy baby. So children between 0 to 6 months, they exclusively breastfeed. Apart from mothers who have HIV, they are also advised to breastfeed, but they have different guidance. And if a mother chooses not to breastfeed, she makes that choice.
And actually about that, it's no longer up, it's discouraged. With the advent of antiretroviral therapy,
yes,
mothers are encouraged to breastfeed all throughout, even the mothers that are HIV positive.
Yes, you're right. Like I said, she decides. Okay. From 6 months to 2 years, from 6 months to maybe to 1 year, the child should still continue to breastfeed, but the mother introduces foods from all the other 3 groups we mentioned to the child in liquid form first. By 9 months, the child can eat the finger foods. The finger foods are like the cassava, the potato, the sweet banana, the little sweet banana. Children are able to hold, and even the bones they can hold and, take some soup. But by 1 year, your baby should be able to eat all foods that you eat in the home. Sometimes when a mother introduces some foods, the child rejects the food. We advise that if, let's say this week, you've introduced millet porridge and the child rejects it, keep it for a week, introduce white porridge, make sure you sieve it so that the child doesn't have particles that will cause constipation, and make sure the child has enough fruit and vegetable. For a start, we crush or we puree them so that the child can eat them in fluid form and their stomachs don't get stuck. When the child reaches between 1 and 2 years, we still recommend a mother to breastfeed up to 2 years, and the child eats adequate complementary food. Adequate complementary food means the child is going to eat the right number of times a day, most 6 times a day. The child is going to eat enough food, and the child is going to eat, for example, the porridge or the soups. Don't dilute them. Sometimes in the communities, mothers may struggle and say, me, I only have beans and gin nuts, I don't have meat. But, I want to tell our mothers who are watching that you can mix beans and groundnuts and it forms a very good sauce.
Wow.
You can get a small box, you put groundnut sauce and you put posho in there and you cover and cook on top of food. The way we steam food, like the Chiganda way. That is excellent. A legume, which is like beans, groundnuts, and all that, and a cereal, which is like millet, rice, posho, the two together form a complete protein.
Wow.
If you feed your child on that, and that's why some children are really healthy in the village down there, in my village, they are very healthy, and yet the mothers doesn't have to feed meat. We can have some eggs. We have mokene. You know, sometimes our communities despise foods like mukene, like mushrooms. Those are very healthy foods for the children to have.
Thank you so much, Florence, for that input. Haidar, just pick up from where Florence has ended and tell us about any special requirements for adults and then especially the elderly, our grandmothers and grandfathers. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stress out a few points. First, let's try to adopt variety. Now, how do we achieve variety of food? Because the more foods you eat, the better, because different foods have different nutrients, irrespective of which age group. Even the children, variety, when you start giving them food, try out different foods. Now, how to achieve that could be, let's tap into the seasonality of certain foods within our country. Because if mangoes are in season, let's, as parents, have them available for your children. Even the adults, let's have these fruits. So by the time when they're out of season, we shall have another fruit on. Because sometimes getting variety can be expensive. You have to go to the markets and buy it. So let's tap into that seasonality. When whatever food is in season, let's utilize that chance. Then when it comes to the people with chronic illness, this basically, the first principle should be anyone with chronic illness, you have to keep tabs with your healthcare professional so that you're able to follow the prescription you're given, you're able to go in for routine checkups. Then when it comes to that, let's utilize or have plenty of fruits and vegetables, because these are paramount in boosting our immunity to help and quicken our recovery or to reduce on progression of certain infection that will occur or any other side effects that can come out of the chronic illnesses. Then when it comes to the elderly, we have also to eat the meals as required. We have to consider the food groups we talked about, the GO, the GROW, and the GLOW foods.
The elderly need them as well.
As well.
Oh, okay.
Then the other one is exercising. Let us not be too sedentary. Exercising also helps your body to burn any extra calories within the body and helps you maintain a healthy weight.
Thank you so much, Haidar, for bringing in that very important point. So food on its own cannot actually deliver the required desires in our health living. Exercise is also very, very crucial and important. Florence, earlier on we talked about sugar, and Haidar advised us to do maximum of 8 teaspoons a day. How about salt?
Salt.
How much salt do I need in my food in the 24 hours?
Well, according to the World Health Organization food requirements, we are meant to eat 2 grams of salt
in a day. Okay.
That is very little salt.
Okay.
The reason is that the food we eat naturally has salt. Have you eaten, for example, have you eaten a boiled egg? It has natural salt. When you buy, for example, I'm going to talk about sugar as well. When you buy breakfast cereal, some people have a habit of adding sugar in their cereal bowl. Yeah. But that breakfast cereal has sugar. The manufacturer put the right quantity of sugar in that cereal. When we buy other foods have natural salt in them. But this question is leading me to talk about unhealthy food, right? Professionally, unhealthy food is food that carries a lot of salt, a lot of sugar, a lot of oil, and part of the oil or part of the fat is trans fat. So,
remember that trans fat is what? It's neither plant nor animal.
It's in the middle.
Okay.
So, unhealthy food, usually it's processed food. Let me be very direct. And that processed food, sometimes we also, it doesn't have the actual components of the food that we expect to be there.
Processed food is unhealthy food.
Some of it.
Food is processed food.
Some of it.
Florence, you're going to hold it there for a while, and we'll be back in a moment, and you tell us more about processed foods.
All right.
I know it's quite a very interesting and very important topic, especially for the young people, the future of Uganda. Please keep it here. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you very much.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from partners.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show. You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Thank you for keeping it at the DOCtalk Show this evening, and I'm sure you've invited your friends and families and following us on our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Share the link, still share the link, and let your friends come and join in. We stopped at the point of discussing unhealthy food and processed food, rather unhealthy food, processed foods. Haidar, Florence mentioned that. Please, I want to hear more about that. Unhealthy food is equal to processed food.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Doctor. Now, processed foods, not all processed foods would be bad.
Okay.
Now, when you have to opt for the processed foods, let's look out for those that have been fortified. For instance, for example, if you're going to buy maize, maize has different grades. The maize that locally we know it as it is graded in two levels. There is grade 2, then there is grade 1, the one that is whiter. So the less white will be better. The one that appears to be a bit creamish. To people, some people have different names they call it, but the one that appears to be cheaper would actually be better. Or look out for the fortification, having other nutrients added in to replace those that were lost during processing. So a fortified product would actually be better.
So fortification is adding some more nutrients to that particular food.
Yes, because the manufacturer knows that these were lost during the processing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Processed foods.
Then that is for the raw foods.
Okay.
Then if you're going to go in for the already cooked, then those you have to limit them, because all these have a lot of fat added in, they will have a lot of salt added in, yet you as the buyer, you may not have maybe the required expertise to know that this is the right quantity. So, but if you can't do that, then it's better to have, if at all you can have a food in its raw form, it is better you have it. For those that can be bought in the raw form, like the examples we gave earlier on, then when it comes to maybe the breads, brown bread is better as compared to the white bread.
That's a very, very important topic, Haidar. I heard of white bread, brown bread, those are the only two I know. I've heard of whole grain bread. Please help us. What is the best bread to take at home?
Yes, now whole grain bread or the brown bread is healthier because this has fiber added in. When they're using the wheat, they try to use wheat that has a lot of more fiber added in as compared to the other white one.
So you'd recommend to our viewers to consider using brown bread in the place of white bread?
Yes.
Wow. Our sausages, our crisps, our many juices on the market, where do all those things lie? Florence?
They fall under ultra-processed foods.
Okay, what is that? Help us to break
So
down
ultra-processed foods, they'll have a little bit of the actual food you expect to have, but in the actual fact, they will have many other parts that you're not able to explain. So, for example, we have sausages on the market. Most times, factories blend or crush or mince. They mince the fatty bits of meat, and they put a little bit of the beef, and then they make a sausage.
Okay.
And we have foods like sometimes the juices we have on the market. They'll get flavors and add a bit of sugar and water, and there you have a juice on the market. We also have, in some classification methodologies, they also include ice cream as part of an ultra-processed food. What does it contain? Does it cream in there? Does it have milk? Does it have milk solids? What does it have? You tell me, doctor.
I thought ice cream has milk in it.
Well, the industry person would know.
Okay.
Yes, so that kind of food is usually aggressively advertised.
Okay.
And our children love that food. So if we could talk a bit about the unhealthy diet that our children eat.
Okay.
Currently, we have 4% of our children under 5 years, they are obese, overweight or obese. And we also know that last year we had an effect.
4%. That's a big portion of our children's population.
Yes, and we also know that last year and this year we've had the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of children have stayed at home. So when I talk about children, I'm also going to include the adolescents up to 18 years. So when you look at our children between 0 and 18 years, you realize that they're actually bigger than what we used to be when we were at that age.
That's right.
So they're eating different foods. And where do they get, how come they get exposed? We have the unhealthy diet, which is full of fat, oil, and salt and sugar. It's aggressively advertised on our market. I have seen in the food industry uses different techniques. And the reason they do that is that we don't have a policy to restrict advertising unhealthy food on the market to our children.
There is no policy.
As a nation, we don't have.
That is very.
However, I am aware that the nation means well. They signed up to the global policies, global initiatives to prevent childhood obesity. And one of the ways, one of the interventions, one of the things we have to add to our policies is to restrict advertising unhealthy food to children. I'll give you an example. When you move on the streets of Kampala, you'll find several billboards that advertise, let's say, Peps, and they have Messi. They use the sports personalities. So, and they say, mess with your senses. And our teenagers are advertising Pepsi Cola products with mess with your senses, with Messi, you know. Then we have on the market, we have in the supermarkets, we have industries or enterprises that produce potato chips or potato crisps. But the package, the label on the package, they'll put a face of the child with a sliced potato on the top. And they say, surprise. Or they have a label which has, we call them tie-ins. In the package, there are children's toys that appeal to the boy child, the trucks, the motorcycle, the plane. Are you trying to
say there's a problem with the crisps?
Yes, because those crisps have a lot of salt, they have a lot of oil.
Wow, and that is
unhealthy food. And the children love it as snacks. Wow. They carry it to school. They eat it all the time. Yeah. And some of our children play on the video games. In the video games and in the cartoons, there are embedded advertisements of unhealthy food in there. Wow. So that is why our parents need to watch the cartoons with the children so that they can guide them. Over to you, Doctor.
Very, very, very informative. Yes, I do.
Yes. We are really having obesity on the rise among that age group, the teenagers. Because if you looked at the statistics, as a country for adults, our overweight and obesity combined, it's at 20%.
Oh my God.
When you look at that, it would be 1 in 5 adults are obese. Then when it comes to the teenagers, it's at 27%. Now, children who had 4%, then when they reach this stage of from 10 years to 19 years, they're actually getting obese. And the she explained it, you're having more of that craving of these fast foods. And too much salt, too much fat, and it means that means you're exposing our future generation to non-communicable diseases.
Wow.
And if you got into the non-communicable diseases, as a country, it's now contributing to 30% minus the accidents.
Wow.
Of the deaths in the country.
Haidar, you're giving me chills. I know one of these days.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.